going to ask you about the financing side of it. Obviously, you probably obviously put your own capital initially. What's the process of getting the VC? Did you just network, or did they call you up, or how did it all work out?
Well, the process of getting the VCs initially.
Initially,
initially you call all the VCs and they tell you to go away, and then when you're successful, they all come back again and saying, "Hi, been following your business for a while. I know you refused to invest in it." That's what I did try. I mean, I went around. I did a few pitches to VCs, but at that point, 2000, they were not interested in B2C investment. And to be fair, it's not really their space. I mean, a startup is not the space of a VC. They're looking at investing a minimum of 5 million. That period when a VC would come in and invest 5 million in an idea is certainly not around in Britain anymore. They don't do it. So we had to get it off the ground, and I went to angel investors. Some of them, a couple of them I knew, some of them I didn't know, but I was introduced to them. So one person led to another person, who led to another person, and they're not that difficult to find. I mean, there are plenty of networks. I have a network here, and there are various networks of angels. If you've got a good idea and you're a bright person, then you will find someone to invest in your business. A lot of people complain about it being very difficult to get their businesses invested, but it never occurs to them that maybe they're an idiot. Or the business people come and say, "No one ever wants to invest in my idea." But they just simply won't listen. I don't think there's a shortage of people wanting of money to invest in good people and good ideas. But it's a combination of the two. I've always tended to whenever I've invested, it's tended to be more. If a good person comes up with a really bad idea, they can't be that good if they come up with a really bad idea. But if they come up with an idea that you're not entirely sure about, you think, well, it doesn't matter that much, because if it isn't a great idea, they will figure out how to make it work, or they'll change the model. If you've got a bunch of idiots with a good business plan, if it goes slightly wrong, then they will not be able to change it around. So I've always tended to go for that. But if you've got a combination of a good idea and good people, I don't think there's that much of a problem with getting invested.
Your investors, dumb money or clever money, and if it was clever, in what ways did it help?
The angel investors are an interesting bunch. They were all very successful entrepreneurs, and they come up with lots and lots of ideas, 70% of which are rubbish, but there's the odd gem. And when every single one of all my major investors came on as or most of them came on as non-execs. They all did something to save the business. One guy said, a year in, we're going to go under, so why don't we put the price up from $1.99 to $2.99? Let's start at $1.99. For some reason I thought $1.99 was the right price. God knows where I got that price from. It's like most people think, the right price is $1.99. Anyway, so put the price up to $2.99, because then we make an extra quid, and we're currently making 50p, then we make £1.50 per card, and you make 3 times as much money, and then maybe we won't go bust. I thought, well, it might put people off, but if it puts people off, then we'll go bust, and if we don't put the price up, we'll go bust. So we put the price up. Nobody noticed that we put the price up from $1.99 to $2.99. Now I don't know, there's an interesting parallel to this, which is there's a business in Holland called Greece, and they set their price at €1.99, even worse than £1.99. But by the time they realised that they'd set the price too low, they were the first people in the market, but they set the price. Everyone else came in behind them at that price. Nobody has ever made any money out of doing personalised cards in Holland as a result. They messed up their own market. If they had gone in at €3.99, people would have said, "Oh, that is the price of the Grecian card in Holland, €99, and that'd be fine. They would have all made money, but no." So the price is really, really important. And you can get everything else right, but if you get the price wrong, you're stuck.
Hi Nick, what was your story to your angel investors through 4 rounds of fundraising, the first 4 years when you were making losses and the business model was questionable? What was your story to them?
Got more complicated later on. I think my story probably was towards the end was saying, look, it's taken longer than I thought, but imagine these 2 lines going up. We've got overheads, which I was desperately bringing down, and we've got sales, which are rising, despite the fact that we're not spending any money on marketing. And I said, at some point, you've just got to believe that these lines are going to cross over. Got harder by the fourth round, but when you look at the numbers and analyse them, you could see that we hadn't done any money on spent any money on marketing, and we had 30% sales growth. 30% sales growth with no marketing is pretty good for any company. Just so happens it was a relatively small base compared to our overhead, but that was really that was my pitch. I said, look, this is the evidence that people love the product. We know the gross margin is good, but it's just a question of time, and that proved to be the case.